Have you ever heard of a young woman so beautiful that everyone feared her? Her features were so flawless that the sun itself seemed to hesitate before touching her skin. Villagers whispered that even a fleeting glance of her face could make hearts skip and eyes widen in awe. Every movement she made flowed with a grace that seemed almost otherworldly, as if beauty itself had taken human form, yet so cursed that anyone who dared meet her gaze would be instantly turned to stone. Her eyes had a terror no one could imagine. Legends said those eyes were like mirrors of death, freezing the soul before the body. Even a fleeting glimpse could shatter courage and leave the bravest trembling in silent horror. Whispers of her name slithered through the villages like a warning, and some claimed they had seen her beheaded. But even death could not silence the shadow she cast. Those brave or foolish enough to enter her lair never returned. Tonight, you will witness the story no one survived to tell until now. Once, Medusa had been a woman of unmatched beauty, her hair flowing like black silk and her eyes sparkling with life. Her presence could light up a room, drawing every gaze as if the world itself paused to admire her. Even the simplest smile of hers held a power that left hearts quietly enchanted and awestruck. But the gods, jealous of her allure, punished her cruelly. A curse from Athena transformed her hair into writhing snakes, and her gaze became a weapon that turned living beings into cold, unyielding stone. The woman who once inspired admiration was now feared and hunted. Villagers spoke of her only in hushed tones, and even the bravest warriors avoided the desolate caves she called home. Her name alone could still the chatter of a crowd, a whisper that carried shivers down spines. The air around her dwelling seemed heavy with dread, as if the shadows themselves recoiled at her presence. Time passed, and the legend of Medusa grew darker with every telling. Many sought her lair, lured by tales of treasures or by prideful bravado, but none returned. Their petrified forms, frozen in silent terror, lined the paths leading to her hiding place. It was said that the very shadows around her quivered in fear, warning intruders of the danger that awaited. Despite her monstrous form, a glimmer of her former humanity lingered in the depths of her eyes, a sorrow only the gods could see. It was a quiet, aching sadness that spoke of the life she had lost and the beauty now shadowed by curse. Even in her fearsome gaze, there flickered a fragile reminder of the woman she once was. Then came Perseus, a young hero sent on a quest that no mortal had survived. Armed with a mirrored shield and divine guidance, he moved carefully through the labyrinth of darkness. Each step echoed with tension, each breath carrying the weight of life and death. He glimpsed the countless statues, frozen expressions of fear staring from stone, and he knew that one misstep could cost him everything. Each figure seemed to whisper silent warnings, their lifeless eyes following his every move. The air itself felt charged with peril, as if the stones were holding their breath, waiting for him to falter. Medusa's hissing hair slithered silently in the shadows, a whisper of imminent doom. Yet Perseus pressed on, determined and cautious. Every movement of her serpentine locks seemed to carry a silent threat, coiling with lethal intent. The weight of dread pressed on him, but his resolve did not waver. Each step measured against the danger around him. Finally, he reached the chamber where Medusa lay, her head bowed in sorrow, unaware of the mortal approaching. The air was thick with dread, charged with a silence so profound that even the snakes seemed to hold their breath. Using the reflective shield, Perseus avoided her gaze, moving with careful precision. A single glance could have ended him instantly. Every shadow seemed alive with the threat of her eyes, urging him to move silently and swiftly. His heartbeat echoed in the tense silence, each step a delicate balance between life and death. With a swift, calculated strike, he severed her head, and yet, even in death, the power of her curse lingered. The air seemed to shiver with the remnants of her wrath, a chilling reminder of her might. Even lifeless, Her presence cast a shadow that refused to fade, haunting all who dared approach. From her blood sprang Pegasus, a magnificent creature of wings and light, born from the very essence of myth and magic. His powerful form rose gracefully, a symbol of hope and wonder amidst the shadow of death. The winged horse, a final, miraculous reminder that her story was far from ordinary. Every beat of his wings seemed to carry the echoes of her life, beauty, and tragedy. In his flight, the legend of Medusa lived on, soaring beyond darkness and fear. Medusa's tale is more than one of beauty and terror. It is a story of curse and tragedy, of power and fear, of a mortal hero confronting a being who is both victim and monster. It speaks of the fine line between innocence and monstrosity, where sorrow and wrath intertwine. Her story reminds us that even the most fearsome figures carry echoes of humanity within them. Her legend endures, whispered in shadows and carved in stone, reminding all who hear it that sometimes the most fearsome monsters are not entirely what they seem. And tonight, as you have witnessed her story, remember this. Even in death, some shadows refuse to vanish. Medusa may have fallen, her head severed by a mortal hero, but the shadow of her legend stretched far beyond the caves and stone statues. Her story lives on in whispers, in the fear etched into the hearts of those who dare to speak her name. She was once a woman of beauty and sorrow, cursed by the gods, feared by mortals, and immortalized by her deeds. Even in death, she remains a reminder that power and tragedy often walk together, and that some secrets are too dangerous to forget. And so, the tale of Medusa ends, yet it never truly dies. The snakes may be still, the stone may be cold, but her story will haunt the shadows forever. Remember this, some monsters are more than what they appear to be, and some curses never fade. If you dare, listen closely, for the shadows of the past are never as silent as they seem. You have witnessed the legend. Now, keep it alive. Like, share, and subscribe for more myths that still whisper in the dark.